Hey everybody, it's Sister Roth here with a video on how you can fill out the project report and what I'm looking for with it. So you can access it here if you're in your modules or your assignments. Go to week 3 and it's going to be here, here under your icon set draft, and then here it wants you to download the project report template. So click on that. Voila, here it is. And here you can look at it, but you won't be able to edit it. So go to File, Save As, and then you can save it as a Word doc, and it will open up in a Word doc. But for today, I'm just going to show you what I need from this. So I'm not going to save it right now. So this is the project report. You'll turn this in with each major project or assignment. So the assignments that take us a couple weeks for Illustrator, InDesign, Photoshop, you'll be turning in the project report. And there's 2 parts to it. Part 1 is for the draft. So that's what we will be focusing on this week. So I'll go over that. So here we have our audience. So when you are creating something, say with your icons, you decide that you are really into how to help children to have an appropriate relationship with technology. And you're thinking that your icons are going to be in an app to teach kids about technology or whatever. So your audience is going to be kids. Or if you decide that you want to do some fashion icons or whatever, and it's geared towards teenage girls, that is your audience. So here you'll put your description of who your audience is and just a little background about them and maybe some interests they have, just so that you can, give a better idea about who you're targeting. And with each design, Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, all of the assignments we'll be doing in those, you'll have an audience that you're gearing your assignments towards. And if you don't really know, you can just kind of make it up as you go. Say you're interested in making some musical icons that could be applicable to anybody. That's okay too. And you can specify in there why you feel like it's applicable to anybody. And then your message is, what are you trying to say with your icons? So say I'm going back to my helping kids to have a proper relationship with technology. That is my message right there. With my icons, if I decide to show a picture of a phone with a X through it or something, meaning like it's time to be off technology or be off the phone. I could be more specific here in my message to show what my goal is for the icons that I'm communicating, if that makes sense. It doesn't have to be super specific, but just give a hint towards, this is what I'm thinking about. What I want people to think about when they look at my icons, and things like that. Sketches. So you will be providing sketches of your icons. So it says here that you need to provide 3 to 4 variations for each layout or design. It says layout because we use the same template for other assignments that we'll be using layout. But you need 3 to 4 variations for each design. So this might sound like a lot, especially if you decide that you're going to do 6 icons and you have to do at least 3 sketches for each one. That's 18 sketches. But you don't need to use, a giant piece of paper or an 8.5 by 11 for each design. It might be a little doodle within an inch square, They don't have to be detailed. I just want to see that you're thinking things out. And if you are going to do fruit for your icons and you're trying to decide how you want your watermelon to look, this is a great way for you to experiment. You know, do I want a half slice, a quarter slice, with seeds, without seeds? So I want to see those sketches, and I want them done by hand. So get out some paper, get out your pencils, pens, whatever. And even if you don't feel like you can have a creative bone in your body, that's okay. I don't need it fancy. I just need you to see that you're thinking through, you know, different variations, and not just like, oh, I'll just draw a circle for my watermelon. That's good. Or for my banana, it'll just be this yellow blob. You know, I want to see a couple different variations. And so then you'll take a picture of your sketches or scan it in, and then you will insert the picture here. So you're going to have, you know, and it doesn't have to be huge, but it can take up, you know, a page or half a page or whatever, just so I can see that you've done that. And then here, you don't really need to add anything here. It's just giving you some more instructions on what you need to do. So make sure you're reading through all of this as well. But it's just telling you that what you need to do in order to complete your draft. And then typography, right now we're not going to worry about that since we haven't discussed typography yet in class. So don't worry about this right now, but in the future, if you use type or a certain type of font, you're going to put it in here so that I can see which fonts you're using. Color scheme is something that will apply to us. So you can create your own color scheme here. It gives you some resources of places where you can go to, you know, make a color palette. So you might have, if you're doing fruit, your color palette may be quite broad. If you are doing street signs, it may be quite small. So take a screenshot of your color scheme and put it here, and then write me a brief explanation why you're choosing your colors, and if you have, you know, a strategy with it, meaning is this an analogous color scheme? Is it a triad? Are you using primary colors? And give me an explanation why you're using those colors. You know, I chose this bright neon color so it can get someone's attention, or I chose this earthy brown color so that it looks more natural and doesn't stand out as much, you know, something like that. And then draft attribution. This is just asking you if you use any other images other than your own to create your icons or any of your design content, you're going to put it in here. So say I'm looking at Google and I see this great picture of a cat that I want to copy. And of course, I'm not going to copy it, you know, just taking a picture of it and putting it in as my final assignment, but I'm going to make an icon out of that cat. But since I use that as my inspiration, I'll put that in here. So you can give me an image, or you can even give me a link if it's like a Google search image or something, just so that I can see where you're getting your inspiration from. And if it's, you know, oh, I just found the fruit bowl at my in-laws' house, and I just kind of started sketching from that view. You don't need to put something in here because it's not something that you found online or that belonged to someone else. And if you have any questions about this, feel free to reach out to me. I know it can be kind of tricky differentiating between what needs to be attributed and what isn't. But a good rule of thumb is if you're using someone else's artwork for your own inspiration, it probably needs to be attributed. And then we will be posting our a PDF of our project onto voice threads so that we can give critiques to each other. And I have a separate thing for that. So I won't be talking about critiques just yet. But just so you are aware, we will be putting those onto voice thread and commenting on each other's critiques. Or excuse me, golly words, on each other's voice threads. And then you'll go ahead and submit this as a PDF into iLearn. So I can see that you've completed your project report. And the project report is a good chunk of your grade, so don't forget to do it. And then you go down here and there's part 2. And this is what we will complete in the second half of our project. And so this will be something that you'll be working on in week 4. And you'll see that a lot of these sections are overlapping with the draft. So final attribution is just if you, since using these assets, you know, if that cat picture that I found that I copied or I used for my inspiration, but in the end I decided to use a different cat picture, I'm going to put that new cat picture in here, or things like that. And then again, explaining if your target audience has changed, I'm going to put in here what it has changed to and why it's changed. And if it has stayed the same, I'm going to, again, give an explanation about my target audience and why my icons will apply to that audience and why it will appeal to them. Here, you're going to explain yourself about your design decisions. So you can say, well, I decided to make this cat look really furry so that he felt inviting and that he wanted to touch it and pet it. And then I made this cat kind of scary and scraggly because I wanted it to represent a feral cat or something. I don't know why I'm talking about cats. Actually I do. We have a cat that roams outside our house. It's not ours, it's our neighbor's. And I've been gardening lately and it's been trying to sit on my lap every time I've sat down to pull some weeds. Anyway, so I guess I got cat on the mind. But yeah, so just some main design decisions, and also any explanations you want me to know for, like, this is why. Oh, and I guess here is similarly design analysis. So you're going to talk about design principles. So here you would put, like, this is why I decided to make this cat orange, or because orange is a caution yellow and I want to stay away from this cat. I don't know, this is a really bad example, but give me an explanation about why you chose a certain color, and whatever other elements you use in your design, so that I understand your decisions that you made to get to that point. And then you'll go ahead and submit this whole thing into iLearn. So the draft and the final, that will be submitted again into iLearn as a PDF at the end of week 4. So that is the project report. And so if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I know that there's a lot right now to get used to, especially with all these new programs and formatting and stuff, but I promise that it's going to get easier and you'll get into this rhythm, and things like the project report won't be a mystery anymore. So hopefully this is helpful, and yeah, feel free to ask me other questions. Stay safe, everyone, and have a good one.